Okay, so welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something, well, crucial for anyone trying to learn something new, especially a language. It's about making learning work, sure, but also making it, actually enjoyable.
Right. We all know that feeling, don't we? You're faced with this mountain of information.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
Totally. And keeping that motivation up, that's a whole other challenge.
Definitely. One minute you feel like you're almost fluent, the next,
Yeah.
yeah, not so much.
Exactly. And what's often missed, I think, and what we really want to focus on today is how these sometimes really simple changes in your habits, they can actually lead to the biggest breakthroughs.
Simple shifts, big results. I like that.
Our mission here is basically to pull out some profound yet totally doable strategies. Stuff that can help make your English learning journey more successful, yeah, but also, crucially, happier.
So we're cutting through the noise, finding those gems.
Precisely. Actionable steps you can actually use.
And we've got some great material for this deep dive. It's based on insights from a really popular English learning podcast. It's called 7 Steps to Joyful English Learning with Sophia and Daniel.
Ah, yes, I know the one. They're good.
They really are. And the great thing is they don't focus on like super complex grammar rules or boring stuff.
No, not at all.
What we found in their discussion are these genuinely fun, simple and really practical tips, things that actually work.
It's about making it accessible.
Totally.
Yeah.
So think of this as your shortcut to advice you can use right away. Helps you avoid feeling, completely buried under all the options. We're going to unpack why these simple ideas are actually so powerful.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
All right, let's dive into their 7 steps. First one Sophia and Daniel really stress is have a special place to study.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this isn't about needing some fancy soundproof room. It's more about creating a specific spot, mentally and physically. They're quite clear.
Mm.
Definitely not on your bed.
Yeah, that's a common mistake.
Right. Beds are for sleeping, relaxing.
Ah.
You don't want that vibe when you're trying to focus.
Exactly. And building on that, Sophia and Daniel talked about how this taps into something called context-dependent memory. Basically, your brain starts linking that specific place with the act of learning English.
Oh, okay. Like a trigger.
Precisely. When you sit down there, your brain goes, okay, it's English time. It sort of primes you, reduces distractions, makes it easier to get into the zone.
That makes sense.
And they also mentioned having your stuff ready, Notebook, pens, books.
Yeah.
Because sometimes just getting ready to study feels like half the battle. A quiet, organized space just sets you up better.
It's like putting on a uniform for your brain, isn't it? Telling it what job it needs to do.
That's a great way to put it.
But what if, say, you live in a really small apartment or share your space? How special does it need to be? Did they talk about that? Like, if a dedicated desk just isn't realistic.
Oh, absolutely. That came up, and it's important. They made it clear special doesn't mean fancy or big. It could just be a particular chair you only use for studying English.
Okay.
Or maybe a specific corner of the kitchen table that you clear off just for that study time. The key thing is the mental designation, the consistency.
This is the ritual.
Exactly. It's about creating that unique link in your brain, no matter how small the actual physical space is.
Right. The mental commitment is the real key.
Right.
Okay, so you've got your spot. Then Sophia and Daniel talk about when you actually show up, which leads us nicely to tip number 2. Have a study time.
Mm-hmm. Regularity.
Yeah, making it a routine, like brushing your teeth, they said.
Exactly. And this really brings up that whole idea of habit formation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
By setting a specific time, say, 4 p.m. every day, or maybe right after breakfast.
You take the decision out of it.
Precisely. You're not debating if or when you'll study. It's just part of the schedule. And the great part, as Daniel pointed out in their chat, is it doesn't need to be hours.
Oh, yeah. How long?
He said, just 15 or 20 minutes is great. It's that idea of tiny habits. Small, consistent actions build up.
Okay, I like that. Less intimidating.
Way less. Your brain actually learns better with these short, focused, regular bursts compared to, like, one massive, stressful study session once a week. That little bit every day, it really adds up for remembering things long term.
15, 20 minutes. That feels doable.
Uh-huh.
But, life happens. What if your schedule is all over the place? Shift work, family stuff. Do they have advice for that kind of unpredictability?
They did, yeah. They understood that fixed times don't work for everyone. Their suggestion was pretty smart. If you can't fix a time, fix a trigger.
A trigger, like what?
Like maybe you always study after you finish dinner, or before you allow yourself to check social media in the evening. You anchor your English time to something you already do consistently. It's called habit stacking.
Ah, clever.
And crucially, if you miss a day, don't just give up for the week. Do a mini session. Even 5 minutes counts.
Just keep the chain going.
Exactly. Keep the momentum. Don't aim for perfection. It's much easier to keep going with small steps than to restart after a long break.
That's a huge relief, honestly, just doing something. Okay, and that brings us to one that really caught my attention. Sophia apparently loves this one. Tip number 3 is make it fun.
Ah, yes. This is where things get really interesting.
It feels like it changes the whole energy, right?
Yeah.
From chore to play.
It really does. And what's fascinating is how Sophia and Daniel linked fun directly to learning effectiveness. When it feels like play, it lowers what linguists call the affective filter.
Affective filter, what's that?
It's basically the emotional things like stress, anxiety, boredom that can actually block you from absorbing language. When that filter is low because you're relaxed and enjoying yourself,
To learn better.
you learn more naturally. Yeah, you're more open, more willing to guess, to try things out. And they had some fantastic, playful ideas.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Okay, so using colorful pens, like
Mm-hmm.
red for new words, blue for grammar questions, maybe drawing little pictures next to vocabulary.
Okay, visual stuff.
Yeah, it taps into visual memory, makes your notes more engaging, kind of like your own personal picture dictionary. Then there's listening to and singing English songs.
Even if you can't sing.
Especially if you can't sing. It's not about performance. It's about absorbing the rhythm, the intonation, the natural flow of English. Things that are really hard to get from a textbook. They even suggested songs that tell stories helps with memory and context.
Music, okay. What else?
Watching English cartoons or movies, the language in cartoons is often simpler. Plus, the pictures give you loads of context.
Right, you can figure things out visually.
Exactly. It's what they call comprehensible input. Low stress, high context. Great for listening skills. They suggested starting with English subtitles, then maybe trying without them later on.
Makes sense. Any tech suggestions?
Oh yeah, English apps and games. Gamified learning. Things with points, levels, immediate feedback. It makes drilling vocabulary or practicing grammar feel more like a game than homework.
So it's not just fluff, the fun part.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually strategic.
Absolutely. It's about leveraging enjoyment for better learning outcomes. But they did also talk about balance.
Ah, okay. So
Yeah.
it can't all be fun and games.
Well, probably not all of it. They stress that the goal isn't to ditch structured study entirely. It's more about weaving fun into the process so the whole thing feels less like a burden.
Right.
The fun stuff boosts your motivation, builds positive feelings about English, which then makes you more willing to tackle the, slightly drier bits like complex grammar. The fun fuels the persistence needed for the harder parts.
Okay, that makes sense. Using fun as fuel.
Oh,
All right, now this next one, tip number 4, feels really important. Be patient and don't fear mistakes.
this is fundamental. Absolutely key.
They had this great phrase, mistakes are not the enemy, they are your teachers. That really reframes it, doesn't it?
Completely. It ties into the whole idea of having a growth mindset versus a fixed one. If you think mistakes mean you're bad at English, fixed mindset, you get discouraged easily.
Yeah, you just want to quit.
Right. But if you see mistakes as information, as clues for how to improve growth mindset, then they actually help you learn.
Yeah.
Sophia and Daniel suggested this powerful little mental trick.
Yep.
Literally, when you make a mistake, instead of beating yourself up, try saying, okay, thank you, mistake. I learned something.
Huh. Actually saying thank you to your error.
Yeah. It sounds a bit silly, maybe, but it shifts your perspective. From self-blame to curiosity and, honestly, fear of making mistakes. It's probably the single biggest thing that stops people from actually speaking and getting better.
It paralyzes you.
Totally. So embracing mistakes builds that resilience you need. They also really emphasize that progress just takes time. And that's okay. It's normal.
Be kind to yourself.
Exactly.
Okay, I love the concept. But what about real perfectionists? People who just hate getting things wrong.
Yeah.
It's easy to say embrace mistakes, but how do you actually do that if it's deeply ingrained?
That's a fair point, and they were empathetic about it. Their advice was basically to start small and focus on celebrating the effort, not just the perfect outcome. So maybe deliberately practice in really low-stakes ways, like trying out a new phrase with your study buddy where you know it's okay to mess up, or using a new word online where no one really knows you.
Desensitize yourself a bit.
Kind of, yeah. And shift your focus from, did I say that perfectly, to, did I communicate my idea? Even imperfect communication is a win. Celebrate that you tried. Over time, accumulating those small wins, even imperfect ones, helps chip away at that fear. Language learning isn't about reaching one perfect point, it's constant refinement.
Progress over perfection. Got it. That feels more manageable. Okay, moving on to tip number 5. Keep a notebook. But not just any notebook.
No, a dedicated English notebook, your personal logbook of learning.
Right, and they had specific ideas for how to use it.
They did. And if we connect this to how learning works, it's about active recall and making the information meaningful to you. Just reading isn't as powerful as actively doing something with the information.
Like writing it down.
Exactly. When you physically write, you engage different parts of your brain. And they strongly recommended not just listing new words, but always writing a sentence using the word.
Context is key.
Vital. So if you learn happy, you write, I am happy, or the sunny weather makes me happy. Words need context. Daniel even suggested drawing little pictures next to words like a smiley face for happy.
Multisensory learning.
You got it. It makes the notebook your own personal dictionary and grammar guide, one that grows as you do. Seeing it fill up is actually really motivating, too.
It's like a tangible record of your progress. I like that. But how do you stop it from just becoming another list you never look at? Did they talk about reviewing it? Or maybe other things to put in there besides just words?
Yeah, good question. For review, they hinted at something like spaced repetition. You don't need to cram everything every day. Maybe once a week. Just flick back through the last few pages, keep things fresh. And beyond words, they suggested using it for tricky phrases, idioms you hear, or maybe a grammar rule that keeps tripping you up. Write down examples of how it's used correctly.
Like your personal troubleshooting guide.
Exactly. Or even just aha moments when a concept finally clicks, jot it down. Looking back at those can be really encouraging. The main thing, they said, is make it yours. Use colors, doodles, whatever makes it feel engaging, not like another chore.
Make it personal.
Got it.
Okay, tip number 6. Practice a little every day. This sounds related to the study time point, but maybe more about integration.
Precisely. It's about the power of small, consistent actions. It counters that idea that you need these huge blocks of time dedicated to, like, intense grammar study.
You don't need hours, right?
Definitely not. Sophia and Daniel really emphasize that. The goal is just to keep English bubbling away in your mind consistently. Tiny interactions.
What kind of tiny interactions?
They give some great, really practical examples, like just learn one new word a day. Really focus on it, how it sounds, what it means, use it in a sentence.
One word.
Or change your phone language to English for just 10 minutes. Suddenly, everyday words like call, settings, message become active vocabulary you see all the time.
Passive learning, almost.
Sort of, yeah. Ubiquitous immersion. Or say good morning to a friend in English. Tiny step, but it's real-world practice. Builds confidence.
Makes it less abstract.
Right. Or watch just a short video clip, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Focus on understanding the gist. Or maybe catching one new phrase. It's that daily touch point that matters. Like drops filling a bucket. These small daily actions fill your English bucket.
The cumulative effect. I get it. But again, for someone feeling super busy or overwhelmed, what's the absolute bare minimum? Can you do too little? Is 5 minutes really enough to make a difference?
They're pretty clear. 5 minutes is definitely better than 0 minutes. The real danger isn't doing too little in one go. It's doing nothing for days on end.
Right. Then you lose momentum.
Exactly. You start forgetting, and it feels harder to start again.
Yeah.
So that bare minimum, it's basically any consistent engagement. Keep the connection alive. If all you can manage is listening to one song or reviewing 3 words from your notebook for 2 minutes, do that. Build the habit first. The duration can grow later.
Okay, that's really encouraging. Maintain the thread, no matter how thin. All right, and the final tip, number 7, which they called the best tip of all. Find a study friend.
The social aspect. This one's powerful.
Why is it so effective, do you think?
Well, language is fundamentally social, right? What's fascinating here, as Sophia and Daniel explained it, is how teaming up makes English real. It moves it off the page or screen and into actual human interaction.
Using it for its real purpose connection.
Exactly, and that creates really meaningful application. It reinforces everything you're learning in a way that studying alone just can't. They pointed out several key benefits.
Like?
Well, first, obviously, authentic practice. You can have simple chats, try role-playing, work on things like taking turns in conversation, asking questions. Actual conversational fluency.
So if you can't really practice with a book.
Right. Second, It lowers your inhibitions. You're both learning, both making mistakes. It creates a safer space to try things out, laugh at errors together, much more relaxed.
Takes the pressure off.
Definitely. Third, mutual motivation. We all have days where we feel like giving up. A study buddy can be that person who says, come on, let's just do 5 words, or let's practice greetings for 5 minutes. That little nudge can make all the difference.
Accountability, yeah.
And fourth, you might get exposed to different ways of speaking, maybe different accents, which is great for your listening skills. It turns learning from a solo slog into more of a shared adventure.
The team English. I like that. It sounds great, but what if it's hard to find someone locally? Maybe you live somewhere remote or just don't know anyone else learning. Did they suggest alternatives? Virtual buddies, maybe?
They absolutely did. They knew finding someone nearby isn't always easy. They really recommended looking into online communities or language exchange apps.
Plenty of those around now.
Loads. These platforms connect learners globally. You can find people with similar goals, similar schedules, time zone compatibility, all that stuff. The key principle, they stressed, is practicing with another person. Physical closeness isn't the main factor.
So virtual friends count just as much.
Absolutely. You get the same benefits. Real communication, encouragement, that safe space for mistakes. They even suggested, starting with text chat, if speaking feels scary at first, then maybe moving to voice or video calls later. The main thing is seeking out that human connection in English, wherever you can find it.
Great advice. Okay, so let's just quickly run through those 7 fantastic tips again, distilled from Sophia and Daniel's 7 Steps to Joyful English Learning.
Let's do it.
1. Have a special place to study, prime your brain. 2. Have a regular study time, even if it's short, build a habit. 3. Make it fun. Use colors, music, games, lower that stress.
4. Be patient. Embrace mistakes. They're your teachers. 5. Keep that dedicated English notebook. Track your journey.
6. Practice a little every single day, consistency compounds.
Yeah.
And 7. Find a steady friend, virtual or local. Make it real and motivating.
And the big takeaway, that thread running through all of this from Sophia and Daniel, it's really simple but powerful. It's not about trying to be the perfect student right away.
No.
It's about becoming a happy learner, shifting from pressure and perfectionism towards enjoyment, motivation, and just sticking with it.
Relaxed, motivated, joyful learning. I love it. So thinking about our listeners, what does all this mean for you? How can these simple, practical ideas change your own learning, whether it's English or anything else?
Yeah, that really raises the key question for you, doesn't it? Thinking about all 7 tips we discussed. Which one feels like the easiest one for you to maybe try implementing, even just a tiny bit, starting today?
Just pick one.
Just pick one to start and maybe ponder how that single small step, that one little change, might begin to reshape not just how fast you learn, but how you actually feel about the whole process. Embracing just one could be the start of a more relaxed, more motivated, and genuinely more joyful learning journey.